Hello, this is Anna, the Pretty Shepherd, and today I am here to tell you about hair care routines and hair growth secrets. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. There are no hair growth secrets. There is no magical potion that will help your hair grow just like that. There is no one-off solution to rich and healthy hair. However, if I did have one such secret, I would definitely share it in this video, so keep on watching. I think that most of my viewers are already aware of the fact that coiled up on my head right now are knee-length locks of hair. That's right, I'm just very good at hiding it. And since I get so many questions related to my hair, for two main reasons really, the fact that it's grey and the fact that it's really long. By the way, if you are watching this right now and you are wondering, her hair is grey? What? Then you can watch my video about how I went grey at 13 years of age. And as someone who has been growing out her hair for the better part of her life now, I am here to share my tips and tricks and just general long hair related wisdom. In order to be truthful, I really feel the need to start by saying it's genetics. It's something that I inherited from my paternal grandmother's side, and I'm very thankful for it. Now in this video, I don't really want to get into my long hair journey and how having long hair has affected me through the years, but rather I want to center it around actual hair care tips and my personal hair care routine. Allow me to emphasize that, my personal hair care routine. This hair care routine works for me and my hair type. It may not work for you, and that's perfectly fine. So even if you take some inspiration from my routine, I really think that this should rather be one of those things that you experiment with and you have fun and you try to see what works for you and you just play around until you find something that suits you personally. Now, the second most important point that I wanted to tackle is health. In general, simply the health of your body will be reflected in the health of your hair. As I said, there is no magical product that could solve your hair. But diet is very important, yes. And this is really one of those long-term deals that are really annoying, just like working out, you know, you can't just do it 2 days in a row and then forget about it. It's something that you really have to stick to. You have to pay attention to what you eat, you have to pay attention to go to sleep, you have to pay attention to take care of your body when it needs to. You have to pay attention not to stress yourself too much with things that you do not have control over. If you make sure to eat well and give your body the right kind of nutrients in a balanced ratio, then your body will be very thankful. It's gonna show on your skin, on your hair, on your nails. It will. Something else that you can do in your day-to-day life is make sure that you have good blood flow in your scalp. This can sound kind of funny, but I found it to be pretty relevant. I actually have this habit of massaging my scalp every couple of days or so, and that's really going to help with the blood flow, which will assure that a lot more nutrients can get to your scalp where the hair follicles are being produced. And by massaging, I mean with the tips of your fingers, so not like scratching like a rabid dog, just like. And then another thing that I do try to pay attention to is to mix around my hairstyles. Hear me out on this one. I've seen horrific cases of young girls already going bald because their grandmas would always braid their hair in the same pattern every day. There was this little girl who would have like 2 French braids every day, and she started to go bald next to the middle parting. It was weird. And that's because your hairs don't like to be stressed and don't like to bear the strain in the same direction every day. So mixing around your hairstyles can assure that your hairs have a chance to move around a little bit in their little spots on your scalp. So even though this one is like my classic go-to everyday hairstyle, and I really do wear this one a lot. Oh, and if you like this hairstyle, if you want to try it out yourself, then I have a video tutorial about it. It's my everyday go-to hairstyle. Really simple, really quick, really feminine. That sums it up. I will still put my hair in a bun every once in a while. I will do a bun on top of my head when I'm going to sleep, which may be like the weirdest angle to pull your hair into, but that's good. Like, you're supposed to have weird angles going on at certain points. So even though I only brush my hair every couple of days or so, or sometimes if I'm like really busy, once a week, it could sound weird, but actually, interestingly enough, it's something that I read about in a book about folk costumes. So in that book there was this sweet old babushka lady who was recounting how people used to do things when she was still young. And it really stood out to me how she said that they would only comb their hair once a week on Sunday before going to church. Other than that, they would just like finger comb it or just like rebraid it and pin. And the other very interesting thing that she said is that they would only wash their hair once a month with rainwater. And the thumbnail has probably already given you a hint about where I'm trying to go with this. Yes, I wash my hair no more often than once a month. You heard that right. And I can already hear you all screaming like,
How? How does your hair not get greasy? How can you withstand it? Does it not itch? Does it not smell? Does it not look ugly?
no, 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 no. No. The answer is no to each and every one of those questions. And as for how I got here, you know how when you're a little child, your parents will wash your hair every Sunday and only on Sunday because that's the day when they have the time for it. And then when you're a teenager and you start washing it yourself, you start washing it more often and you go down the rabbit hole of washing it, and then you end up washing it every day because you really want to impress your classmates and your crush and your friends, and oh my god. Well, that never happened to me. Hey, I've told you, I've always been the weird kid. I never started washing my hair more often than once a week. But then, one time, I had some sort of event and I timed my hair washing so that my hair would be washed for that event, and I had to wash it like after 10 days. And then I had another event after that, and for some reason, my hair washing days kept on being pushed further and further from the 1 week mark. And over the period of some months, I got down to washing it every 2 weeks, just by chance really, because of those events and how they were lining up. And my hair was taking it really, really well. So I just started thinking about it. If I can do this once every 2 weeks, I could try to do it once every 3 weeks. So I tried and I achieved it. And then I just figured, 3 weeks is kind of like a weird number. Maybe I should go for the 1 month mark. And I did. And that's it. It happened over the period of a year or two, so it really wasn't like... I probably have a hair type which can handle this kind of treatment. As I said, if yours doesn't, that's perfectly fine. Your routine is yours only. You have to experiment with it. You have to figure out what works for you. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do I wash my hair? You know, it must be a really special day of the month if it's just once a month, so how do I go about it? Well, I'm very glad you asked. My hair washing day starts 1 day before the hair washing, because I will actually apply a pretty thick mask of oil. Now, I always like to mix up the kinds of oils that I use, so it can be anything from jojoba, sweet almond, poppy seeds, argan, avocado. But if for some reason I don't have these laying around, or if I'm on a tighter budget, I will just go for coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil, which can both be found in my kitchen. When I buy these kind of hair oils, I actually buy them from like a nicer grocery store which stocks these kind of oils for cooking. Because if the oils that you're getting are specifically for hair care, it could actually have a bunch of unnecessary additives. But if you get the ones from the supermarket, they're actually meant to be eaten, so they're usually the closest to natural that you can get. Well, I usually transfer them to these little glass containers with a little drop tool. This one is jojoba, this one is olive oil, extra virgin olive oil that you would use for cooking. Then this one is coconut oil. Well, in winter it looks like this over here, and in summer it's kind of liquidy. Now for this first hair mask that I apply, I usually go for an oil that smells nice or doesn't have like a strong smell, because this oil will be left on my hair for 24 hours. I filled up the little drop tool and I'm just going to put the droplets on my hair, just like that. And then I'm going to brush. Now if you don't have these kind of containers, you can just pour the oil in your palm. I'm just going to rub it onto my hair. I just try to make sure that it ends up covering most of my hair, especially from my neck downwards. So I don't usually put the oil on my scalp, since the brush itself is coated with some of the oil as well. I found that it's enough for me to just brush through my hair. And then I'm going to pull it into a nice sleek bun. As you can see, this way I can go about my day if I need to go to run some errands or, you know, go see people. I can still do it. My hair will not look weighed down and greasy. It just looks sleek, that's all. This is why you have to avoid the strong smelling ones. So I do have one oil combination that I like to splurge on sometimes. And now we are getting into the actual brands of products that I use. This one is L'Herbolario. I think it's an Italian brand. It is Olio di Macassar. It just smells so good. So this one, when I put it on my hair, I just feel like sniffing it, like all day long. It smells so good. But that one is my splurge oil for like maybe once or twice a year, and I will use the other basic natural ones most of the time. Now as soon as I've spent 24 hours with this oil, hopefully my hair was able to soak up some of the nutrients from it. It's onto the actual hair washing process. Before I wash my hair, I will soak even more oil into it, and for this one I do use a very specific one for my scalp. I will use castor oil. Now castor oil, I've been told by my mother and by a lot of other like wise old ladies in my life that it enhances hair growth. So I've actually heard of people putting it on their eyebrows or even their eyelashes to help them grow thicker and stronger. Again, it is not a miracle product. It's just one thing that I use amongst many others. So I will especially put the castor oil onto my scalp. And then I will reach for another oil of my choice onto the ends and especially the tips. And then I'm going to get into my bathtub and just take a bubble bath. So I will soak in there for like 20 to 30 minutes. The point of it is, well, partially to relax, because hey, come on, who doesn't like bubble baths? But then again, another part of it is to let those oils work their way again into the scalp, into the hair. Just, you know, give your hair enough time to soak up the nutrients. So the oil that your scalp secretes is actually nutrition and protection for your hair. Since my hair is so very long, I actually need to provide other types of oil from the neck downwards, because the one from my scalp would never in 1,000 years reach down there. Oh, and yeah, a fun fact, which some of you will probably know. If you keep on washing it off, your scalp is gonna go like, oh my god, produce more oil! We are not having enough oil, make more of it! And it's just going to create more and more and more, thus making you want to wash your hair even more often and your scalp to freak out even more. So it's really a very dangerous spiral to get into. Try to avoid washing your hair as much as possible. The end. Except it's not! So after I've enjoyed my bubble bath, I will start washing my hair. Like, oh wow, we're actually getting to washing my hair after what, how many minutes of this video? Yeah, cool. Anyway, here comes another one of my tips. I will first wash my hair with Sulphur Soap. Now this is something that you can get in pharmacies around here. It's just the cheapest and simplest, very basic sulphur soap. It's supposed to be smelly, so if you open it up and it smells very nice, then you should probably go for a cheaper alternative which doesn't have so many nice smelling stuff in there. So it's supposed to be stinky a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. That's the sulfur in the soap. It's this bright yellow soap, and I will wash my hair with that because it helps with the dandruff. Now, when I was a young teenager, I started to get dandruff. My mother bought me this soap because she heard from a wise old lady again that it helps with the dandruff, and it does. I haven't had dandruff issues since then, but I've been using it all of my life, since I was 12 or something. When you're using soap to wash your hair, you actually have to like rub it in every nook and cranny again. Wherever you feel that your scalp usually scratches, like if you have any points that are kind of like scratchy during the day, you should especially work those places. Like get in there with your little fingertips. Fingertips, not the nails, because the nails will damage your scalp. I will rinse this off, and then 2 or 3 times I will wash it off with shampoo. Now, the shampoo that I use is by L'Occitane, #NotSpon, but I wish. It's a French brand. I use their repairing line, and they're very good. I started using this brand maybe 7 years ago. It could be 8, but I don't want to say too much, but 7 for sure. And I could really feel the change. And every time I do wash my hair, I feel like it's rejuvenating and I just really love their products. These products are silicone free, and they use a lot of natural ingredients. They also use a lot of recycled material for packaging. And I've seen that they've started to move on to more glass containers recently, just to be even more plastic free. Back to the hair washing routine itself. So I will wash my hair with this shampoo about 2 or 3 times, and I will rinse it thoroughly with water. I will use a decent amount of shampoos, so kind of like a walnut-sized dollop for each wash. And every time I wash it, I try to insist on those areas where my scalp tends to get scratchy. Now, my hair sometimes gets very dirty. I might include like a 4th wash, just if I feel like it. Yeah, I can kind of sort of feel it, you know, you can feel when your hair is finally clean. And when I'm done with that, I will use conditioner. I will use the conditioner from the same brand, from L'Occitane, also the repairing conditioner. I will use a pretty big dollop of it and apply it from the nape of my neck downwards. So I'm not really going to get it over my scalp anymore. I will then try my best to pin it out of the way, wet and soggy as it is, and then just shower. So I'll take those, 5 minutes until I shower, just to allow the conditioner to work its magic. And by this time, I will have probably run out of warm water, so I will get out of the bathtub and just put my hair back inside the bathtub and start rinsing. And yes, I rinse with cold water, but not necessarily because I insist that this is a very good habit. I've heard that it's a good habit. I don't really feel that it makes a difference for me, but I still do it because I usually run out of hot water by this time. And I will rinse very well. I will rinse for like 10 minutes straight if I have to. I'll just rinse and rinse and rinse and pull it apart and rinse some more. When I really feel that all the product has been removed, I will wrap a towel around my upside down head. After a couple of minutes, I will change that towel to a different one because it's probably already soaking wet, and I will just let that towel dry my hair for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And after it's mostly dry, I will brush it while wet. I will brush it very gently. Very gently. I wanted to tell you this one thing that I also like to do is I will wash my hairbrush with the same shampoo that I use for my hair, just to make sure that all the oil or the dirt from my hair before washing it doesn't stick onto it. And then I usually braid it in 2 lace braids. I usually time my hair wash to be around the evening, so I can actually go to sleep with the braids, put a towel on my pillow and go to sleep like that, so it can still soak up some of the water. And then in the morning when I wake up, it's mostly dry. Maybe I'll go around my day for a few more hours, but then when I undo the braids, I have these beautiful mermaid waves. I've actually used those kind of mermaid waves for my pavetta hairstyle. If you want to check it out, it's right over here. So as you can see, they're really really isn't some sort of like big secret ingredient to my routine. Like there isn't. It's just like a mix of all of the things that I do that keep my hair healthy and growing and... Okay, fine. Yes, fine. There is a secret ingredient. And I did promise to share it with you if it exists. So here it is. Actually, I think I'd rather just invite someone in who can, I think, could get the point across a lot better than I can. So, please. Hi, I'm a shouty shepherd, and today I am here to tell you about PrettyShepherd's Miracle Hair Care Potion. Have you been dreaming of having long, luscious hair, just like the Pretty Shepherd? Well, you're clearly in the right place, as PrettyShepherd's Miracle Hair Care Potion will give you the hair of your dreams. No, no, no. We've been through this. I've told you you're not allowed to fib or lie or whatnot unless it is such a big lie that it's ridiculous enough, or if it gets a funny point across, you know, drives home a joke. Okay. So, come on, get yourself together. Yeah, okay. Our most determined team of scientists work tirelessly to find the ingredients that will give you the hair of your dreams. The most secret recipe of PrettyShepherd's hair care potion includes the most special of special snowflakes. Only 1 in a bajillion qualify. Conserved and preserved in a way that will help enhance its special uniqueness. Bottled up cat meows from the luckiest black cats with the most luscious dark hair. Sparkle sebum secreted by the most intimate of unicorn skin glands. I don't really think you want to know how we got this one. Our determined team of scientists have selected a dozen more herbs and spices and magic ingredients to create PrettyShepherd's magic hair care potion. What? You're not yet convinced? Just look. Wow! I have PrettyShepherd hair, and you can have it too! So order now and try it out today! Much better. Now, a lot of you asked me about how I keep my hair tangle free. Well, I don't. I mean, I get tangles just like everyone else. I use a Tangle Teezer. It really works very well. And again, of course, hashtag not spawn. I brush it like every 2 or 3 days, usually. And if I manage to stick to that timing, I usually get away with like average, smallish tangles. But sometimes if I'm having a busier time in my life, or if I did like an extra super complex hairdo or maybe some curls, I do get worse tangles, of course. And for those occasions, I will bring in the big guns, which in my case is actually just oil. In these past years, I have used a variety of oils for detangling. It helps, like any kind of oil will help. But there is one more product that I use from L'Occitane's repairing line. It's this repairing hair oil. Now, I'll be honest with you, it smells brilliant. But perhaps the even more important aspect of it is that it doesn't weigh down the hair. It doesn't grease it up quite as much as other oils do. And the nice little cherry on top of the cake bonus feature is that it helps with flyaways as well. Now, I'm one of those girls who believes in the fact that human hair is supposed to frizz. Like, it's just a natural thing that our hair does. I don't tend to fight it a lot. A lot of my hairstyles will have, you know, the flyaways and the frizz. And to me, that's perfectly fine. I just embrace it. But since a lot of you asked about flyaways and frizz when I reached out to you on Instagram, I thought I would mention this little bonus perk as well. And then the other issue that was probably the top request on Instagram was about cutting or trimming my hair. The last drastic haircut that I had was 16 years ago. I got a bob. I was 13 at the time, and yeah, ever since then I've been growing it out. Last time I went to a hairdresser was probably 10 years ago. I went there, I asked for a trim,
and I got like 20 centimeters chopped off of my hair.
So that kind of left me with trust issues when it comes to hairdressers. And because of this, at present, there are 2 people who I trust enough to let them go anywhere near my hair with scissors. And one of those is me. And the other one is my mother. I'm actually going to be honest, I don't really care so much about split ends. I wear my hair a lot in coils of braids and buns and updos. You can never see the ends of my hair. Now, if you wear your hair undone a lot, I totally get it. Go get a trim, get it nice and straight, but it's not worth it for me. I'd rather have that extra 20-30 centimeters of length. Because let's be honest, if you would want to cut off all of my split ends, they start like at least at my waist. So all of that hair would have to go, which I wouldn't be happy about. So I haven't really been to a hairdressing salon this past 10 years, but that hasn't really stopped random hairdressers to try and share their unsolicited wisdom with me. And I figured, just for the fun of it, I'm going to share with you my favorite tips that I got this way. You do know that long hair can cause a lot of back and neck pain, right? You say that, but you know, long hair is not really like a wig or extensions. You don't just wake up with it. You grow it out gradually and you get accustomed to it. I have a feeling she may have only had long hair experiences with wigs. You should wash your hair much more often because of the polluted air and the dust and the cars and oh yes, please tell me more about how I could take care of my hair to keep it healthy and long. And oh wait, your hair is short and dry. Maybe not the best person to take advice from then. Shorter hair takes less time to take care of. I beg to differ. You know, maybe it does take you a shorter time to wash it and dry it, maybe brush it as well, but you have to style yours, you have to use products, you have to use a hairdryer and all those things to make it look the desired shape. Whereas I can pull my hair into a 30-second Nautilus bun and be done with it. You should cut your hair as often and as short as possible because it will grow back thicker and stronger. Why would it though? Cutting it is not really like a reset button because, you know, your hair grows from your scalp and the ends of your hairs have very little control over what goes on here. And my personal favorite of the bunch. You should actually trim your hair regularly because split ends cannot breathe. No. Your hair does not require oxygen to breathe or to live because it's not actually a living part of your body. It's dead cells. They're dead. They don't feel a thing. They're not alive. That's why you can cut it and you don't scream out in pain because you can't feel a thing because it's dead. Biology 101. Whew, and I think that's a wrap. Hopefully I've addressed everything, but if I missed anything that you're still interested in, please leave it in a comment below and I will get back to you. But what I'm actually really interested in finding out, if you could leave it in a comment, is if these tips were helpful to you, if they were new to you, if perhaps they were shocking to you. Please tell me about it. If you've already been using some of these, if you knew about them, if they work for you, but above all, tell me if you have some other tricks, especially if they're for a different hair type than mine. After all, if somebody watches this video, they are probably looking for real, tried and true tips and tricks knowledge that can only come from real people. So let's help each other out if we have wisdom to share. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, and have a great day, and bye bye! Oh, why hello. You're still here. How nice of you to stay. I'm a bit of a star here now. Yeah, I've been on the channel like 3 times, you know. Pretty big deal. Yeah. So if you want to see more of me, then make sure that you order now!